How to get credit without a credit check, and is it possible? And the answer is yes. You can get approved today, right now, after watching this video for credit and have access to money without any pulls on your credit. And this is made possible by Grain, and I'll be talking about how this works and why you should consider using Grain to get credit if you don't have a good credit score. Or maybe you want a loan or a line of credit, but you don't want to pull your credit to get one. So if you're interested in learning more about how you can get credit without pulling your credit, then stick around to the very end of this video. Also, if you're new to this channel and you're watching one of my videos, or if you're seeing me for the very first time, my name is Ian, and I post videos here on YouTube every single day on topics relating to making money and personal finance. So if you'd like to see more of these videos, give this video a thumbs up. I'll really appreciate it. And also consider subscribing to this channel and turning on all the notifications, and that way you'll be able to get the updates every day when I post a new video here. Now, Grain will look at your income and use your income or your bank account history to approve you for credit instead of using your credit score. So depending on how much they like your income and your banking activity, you can get approved for $500, $1,000, maybe even $10,000 right now, and they won't be checking your credit. Now, you may be wondering, how does this work and why does it work? Because why don't we just use our credit scores to get approved like everyone else? And the reason for this is simple. There are a lot of people who made mistakes in the past, right? Mistakes that negatively affected their credit, and even 1 or 2 years later, they're still negatively affected by these mistakes. So if you missed a car payment a year ago and you missed it for a couple months, and then the car got repossessed, then that's bad for your credit. If you were late on a credit card payment that same time, that's also bad for your credit. So let's say you have something bad on your credit report from a year ago. A lot has changed since then. You were able to pay those debts off, or at least get them under control, and you're working on repairing and rebuilding your credit right now. Now, even though you have everything under control, you still won't be able to get approved for the credit cards and the loans you want because your credit history or report has all those negative things on there lingering. You may have started a business, or maybe you got a new job or a promotion, and now you make a lot more money than you did last year, but this still doesn't matter because those negative items on your credit report will still be holding you back. So the only way to get around this would be to get a non-traditional loan or a line of credit if you really need a loan. Now, before now, the options weren't a lot and definitely not on favorable terms. This is when most people go to loan sharks who will charge you 300 or even 500% in interest. So Grain is a good tool since they approve you for a line of credit without checking your credit score. Instead, they check your income, whether you have a job and you get paid every month or you have a business. They then look at your bank account and the transactions, and they'll use this information to decide how much money they're willing to give you without checking your credit score. And even if you have good credit, this is still a good service because you may need a loan or a line of credit, but you don't want to have another pull on your credit. Also, oftentimes a person's credit report doesn't really show or isn't giving an accurate evaluation of that person's ability or willingness to repay a loan. Now, like I said before, you could have made some mistakes last year, but this year you're making more money and you're more responsible, and a credit report doesn't take those two factors into consideration. Now, I also want to point out here that Grain isn't the only way you can get a loan or a line of credit without a credit check. A lot of other companies like online banks or investment accounts allow this. For example, I have a link to M1 Finance below, and I invest using M1 Finance, and once you have $10,000 or more invested with them, you can get a loan at about 35% of your investments without any credit checks, and this is a loan that's instant and the money is made available immediately. So if you have $30,000 invested there and you had some emergency like car repairs that needed to be done immediately, you could actually go in the app and get an instant loan of up to $10,500 and have that money in your account to do whatever you choose to do with it. So there are ways to get money without it affecting your credit score if you already have a relationship with another bank or company or investments, or even with a business, because another example would be the PayPal no credit check loan for businesses. With that loan, you can get thousands of dollars in cash without a credit check if you have an already established relationship with them or your business. Now, let's get back to Grain and talk about some of the features or how it all works. So the first thing you need to do, and you can do this right now, is to download the app. I'll leave a link below to it, but you should be able to go to the App Store and search for Grain and then download the app and sign up. You then link your bank account, and this is the bank account that they will use to determine how much money they're willing to give to you. I've realized here that you can only link one bank account though, and this may be inconvenient for those who have income going into several different bank accounts, because then you can't really allow Grain to see your entire financial picture and see how much money you have coming in every month. So I would say use the account that gets the most deposits and has the least withdrawals. So if you have a savings account where you consistently put money in every single week or every single month and you never really pull any money from that account, then that's the one that you want to use in your Grain application. Now, after doing this, Grain will look at your deposits and withdrawals, the frequency, the amounts, how long you've been depositing any money to that account, and this will help them to determine how much money they want to lend to you, and that's it. No credit checks and not even a soft credit check here. So it's really an easy way and straightforward way to get approved for a line of credit today if you need one and you don't want to pull your credit or your credit isn't good enough to secure you a traditional line of credit. Now, I've said loan before in this video, and this actually isn't a loan. It's a revolving line of credit just like a credit card. So for example, if you get approved for $1,000 in credit from Grain, you'll have access to $1,000 at any time, and once you use some, it's then subtracted from the line of credit. So if you use $300, then you have $700 left, and that you can use, and then you can pay the monthly payments, and as you pay, your line of credit goes back up to the original amount. Grain also reports this activity to credit bureaus, so even though they don't pull your credit to qualify you and give you the line of credit, they will report your payments, so this could also be an alternative if you want to build your credit at the same time. The only downside that I've seen with Grain is that you must pay the interest, and it's around 12% with auto repayment, and this is okay because the average APR on a credit card today is around 14.4%, I think, so this is good, and they have the auto repay feature, which means that whenever the due date comes around, the minimum payments will be taken from your bank account, and that way you're never late on repaying on your line of credit. So would I recommend Grain? Well, yes and no. I like the idea of having access to a credit or a line of credit like you would with a credit card without actually pulling your credit, and this can help people who need a line of credit but can't really qualify for a credit card. It's like a secured credit card, but the only difference here is you don't need to make a security deposit to get the line of credit. However, with a secured credit card, you can control paying interest. You can pay it off in full before the due date, and then you'll pay no interest. With Grain, you'll need to pay interest for the services. I also like the fact that your payments are reported to credit bureaus, and this way you can improve your overall credit score by using Grain. However, on the flip side, I personally wouldn't use this service, and this is just preference, but I would rather use a secured credit card that gives me cash back and I can avoid paying interest. If you are looking to build your credit, I recommend going that way and using a secured credit card instead, because you get more value, and I'll leave a link to the Discover It's Secured, which is my favorite pick, and you'll also get some free cash if you choose to sign up with that card. Now, if you don't really care about building your credit and you just need access to cash or a line of credit, then I would, and this is also preference because Grain works, but I would instead think about this and realize that sometime in the future you may need a loan or a line of credit, and so even if you don't need it right now, it doesn't hurt to start making relationships with investment apps or banks that will extend credit to you without pulling your credit score. So like I mentioned earlier in this video, in the example of M1 Finance, even if you don't need a loan right now, by simply investing with them, if you ever need a loan and you have over $10,000 invested, then you can easily get up to 35% of your investment's value in a loan, and that loan is instant. The same goes for PayPal or the PayPal no credit check business loans. So use Grain if you must right now, but then also think about creating relationships that you can use to your advantage later on if you need them. Again, a very good app. I like the idea. If you need a line of credit and you have bad credit history, but you have a good income source, then you can use it. If you have any questions, be sure to comment below. And also, if you've used Grain or if you are now about to use it, or to at least see how much they would give you in a line of credit, comment below and let me know how it works for you. As always, thanks for watching. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you like the content. Subscribe to the channel and hit the notification icon so you can get notified when I post new videos here. Check all the links down below in the description for all kinds of free and helpful stuff. And I'll see you guys tomorrow.